Good day, everyone.
Good day.
I'm
And
Tim,
I'm Casey.
and we're back again to our channel, Transcending Consciousness. For today, we will discuss on the different vaccines against COVID-19. So first, let's just get a rundown of the different types of vaccines. So generally, vaccines are, either live attenuated vaccines or inactivated vaccines or various parts of that viral particle. So in COVID-19, there's no attenuated, so all of them are dead, either dead viruses or parts of that virus. So in the Philippines, the first is Sinovac. Sinovac is an inactivated vaccine. And then next was be the AstraZeneca, which is a viral vector. And now, at this time, we now have Pfizer and Moderna, which are the new technology of using the RNA component of the virus particles. So, Casey, could you tell us what's really the purpose of vaccines?
Well, the purpose of vaccines is to develop our antibodies against certain viruses and bacteria. Okay, so yes, in the past, previously, when vaccines were discovered, it was during the time of the smallpox. It's a bacteria that when they applied small doses of that bacteria, the body developed antibodies against it. So they were able to prevent the spread of smallpox and even eradicate smallpox in the past. So yes, vaccines, it can help us protect against viruses and bacteria. But some people are weary about vaccines. Why? Because of some will have side effects, and especially with these two vaccines, Pfizer and Moderna, it's a new technology, so it's not really that proven long term. So we do not really know what would happen. So a lot of people are afraid of it. But so far in the US, there's a very small percentage of the population having severe adverse reactions to the vaccines. So yes, my thoughts on this are, when it comes to viruses such as influenza and, for example, in this COVID, this type of viruses, they mutate. So it's very difficult for us to really eradicate this type of virus because they mutate easily. So that's why influenza, it has been with us for 100 years. So every year we develop pneumococcal vaccines, so to target those new strains. So yes, but it's not guaranteed. When we take vaccines, it's not 100% foolproof that we'll be protected, because it also depends on our body, our immune response to the bacteria and the viruses. So, for example, I don't take care of my body. I sleep less. I drink alcohol or some toxic foods, chemicals I ingest, weakening my immune system. So even though I have a vaccine, because of my low immune system, I will still be infected by bacteria and by these viruses.
So the controversy that we have with many of the spiritual people is that they feel that these vaccines is a way to manipulate people, or they build in like nanochips on them in order to be some sort of control for the population. But this is all controversies. So the reality is, at our current level of consciousness, the concept of vaccination was actually inspired by the ascended hosts, because it is a matter of we are able to mount an immune response on a dead or weakened virus, so that when we encounter that live wild-type virus, we can mount a further increased immune response, and therefore we do not get sick. So this is what happened with smallpox. So with smallpox, it's a very big virus. It doesn't mutate that often. That's why we were able to target it, inoculate it to significant amount of the population in the world, leading to the herd immunity of the whole world, and then we eradicate vaccine. So actually, vaccine is one of the gifts that was given to us by the divine in order to combat these diseases. Now, what is the other side? So I know that this is, well, it could be like some people would say that you should have a strong immune system, and with your immune system, if you boost it, you can conquer this disease, this virus, so that it won't affect you. And that is actually true to a certain extent. But we must, also take note that taking the vaccine is not only for your protection, but it's a protection for all people. Because there are people who, by the nature of their disease, may not be, or their condition, they're not amenable for vaccination. And therefore, by inducing herd immunity, we can protect this vulnerable population. So taking the vaccine is not only for you, but for the population. Because, no, remember, we are not living as an island. We are all connected. So by your willingness to help others, one should take the vaccine. And again, if you really are spiritual, and let's say you believe that there could be some of these side effects, long-term side effects of this vaccine, you should always come into, it should come into your mind that we are not physical beings. We are spiritual beings deeply living in a physical body. So whatever other people do to us, or whatever these vaccines do to our bodies, we can always transcend it. There is nothing in this world that we cannot transcend, because that is just physical. And we know that the higher bodies, the emotional, the mental, and identity bodies, we can program them in such a way that we can overcome a physical malady.
So what happens usually? For example, I'm hearing a lot of people being afraid, spiritual people afraid of this vaccine. So you see, if you look closely, those people who are afraid of the vaccines harming their bodies, it's in their mental body. They believe, or even in their identity body, they believe that these viruses, bacteria, and vaccines can affect their body. So if you have that subconsciously in your mind, so that will become, there's a possibility that it will become your reality. So see, having fear in your identity body, mental body, and emotional body will make you vibrate lower and attract these adverse effects. Making it more possible for you to attract this. So even for the spiritual people out there, you should reflect upon yourselves. What's inside in my belief? Am I afraid? Do I believe in viruses, bacteria? Do I believe that anything can kill me by accident, or some event, or some other people can actually kill me, or affect my body? So be careful of those ideas planted in your minds. Okay, I remember one in the story of autobiography of a yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda. There was one highly evolved yogi, a yogi Christ in India. He was, someone tried to poison this yogi Christ-like being, and he took the poison, and the poison did not nothing happened to the body of that master. And what happened is, because that person intended to kill the master, since the yogi being, the Christ-like being, reflected back the immediate karma of that person attempting to kill him. So the poison, the one who attempted to kill the yogi was affected by the poison. So because of his high state of being, spiritual being, nothing happened to him, even if someone tried to poison him. So my point here is, when we actually train ourselves to, to move higher in spiritual attainment and consciousness, nothing really can affect our being. So yeah.
So not only as medical doctors, but also as spiritual teachers, we encourage everybody to take the vaccine. I've just taken my second dose of AstraZeneca last week, and Dr. Casey, I think, has finished 2 doses of the Sinovac vaccine a couple weeks ago. So we are all in this together. We should try our best to have herd immunity in the world, in the Philippines. And, I encourage everyone to take the vaccine. And I just hope, the government would mobilize more efforts to get the vaccine rolled out to more people, because currently we've only vaccinated like 2% of the Philippine population, so 98% more to go. So we need to ramp up the vaccination and to increase the centers to finish all our stocks.
What's your experience, Tim, with the vaccination?
Because with the vaccination, actually with AstraZeneca, we know there were fears of the blood clots. But if you look at the studies, the risk of the blood clots is greater for pregnant women or for people with long haul flights than with the normal population. That's why I opted to take the vaccine. For me, during one day after vaccination, I really had like fever. I had to take like paracetamol. I have fever in Malay on the first day, first 2 days. It was really very weak. Yeah. So what was in my mind, at least it's working because I'm feeling all these feverish symptoms. In the second vaccination, it felt better. There were actually not much side effect, maybe just general Malay, but I didn't take paracetamol, which was okay. I mean, just minor side effects. What about you, Casey?
When I took the Sinovac vaccine, I felt nothing really, not even pain on the injection site. Because why? Those people experiencing pain in the injection site, most of them are afraid of being injected. So what happens is their muscles tense during the injection process. So, but when you are totally relaxed, and not afraid, even when a needle was placed here, I felt really nothing. So yes, I even jogged 9 kilometers on that day during my second vaccination. I was able, and I felt really okay at that time. So yeah, some people with Sinovac, and they experience slight fever, heaviness in the arms, and some headaches or lightheadedness, and fatigue, and they felt sleepy. Most of them felt sleepy. So those were the effects that I've heard so far. And with AstraZeneca, with the blood clotting, it's just a very, very small percentage of the population, like 0.001%, who develop blood clots, or maybe it's smaller. So with all medications out in the market, even the maintenance medications, they all have adverse effects, but mild. So yeah, it depends on us. So if you want to gauge the benefits versus the risk, but the benefits is really high based on the studies so far.
So thank you so much. See you again for another episode of Transcendent Consciousness.